Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Srila Prabhupada ki jai Granthrat Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone. It's rare to see so many people. This is a complete contrast to COVID. There was one person sitting here. Sometimes that person was also gayab. Only the camera was there and you are speaking to a blank room, and today we have so many people. Huh? That shows Prabhupada's popularity and mercy. We are just instruments of the Lord. So, thank you for coming for Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class today. our focus will be on Canto 8, Chapter 22. Canto 8, Chapter 22. Chapter 22 is titled as Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. So, text 12 is what we'll focus on specifically. We'll go from text 12 to text 16 because there is only one line purport in between, right? So we'll go till 16, and 16 Prabhupada is making a very beautiful point. So we'll focus on that. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavatir Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tasyetham Bhashamanasya Paharado Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kurushrestha Rakapatirivotitaha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tasyetham Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kurushrestha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tasyetham Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kurushrestha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tasyetham Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kurushrestha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tasyetham Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kurushrestha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tasyetham Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kurushrestha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Mataji's. Shri Sukha Vacha Tashyetham Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kuru Shreshtha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Shri Sukha Vacha Tashyetham Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kuru Shreshtha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Shri Sukha Vacha Tasyetam Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kuru Shreshtha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Shri Sukha Vacha Tasyetam Bhashamanasya Praharadho Bhagavat Priyaha Ajagama Kuru Shreshtha Rakapatirivotthitaha. Sri Sukha Vacha. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, Tasya Bali Maharaj Itham, in this way, Bhashamanasya, while describing his fortunate position, Praharadaha, Maharaj Prahlad, his grandfather, Bhagavat Priyaha, the most favored devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ajagama, appeared there, Kurushrestha, O best of the Kurus, Maharaj Parikshit, Rakapati, the moon, Iva, like, Uttitaha, having risen. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, O best of the Kurus, while Bali Maharaj was describing his fortunate position in this way, the most dear devotee of the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj, appeared there like the moon rising in the night time. There is no purport, so we'll go to text 13. Then Bali Maharaj saw his grandfather Prahlad Maharaj, the most fortunate personality whose dark body resembled black ointment for the eyes. His tall, elegant feature was dressed in yellow garments. He had long arms and his beautiful eyes were like the petals of a lotus. He was very dear and pleasing to everyone. Being bound by the ropes of Varuna, Bali Maharaj could not offer befitting respect to Prahlad Maharaj as he had done before. Rather, he simply offered respectful obeisances with his head, his eyes being inundated with tears and his face lowered in shame. There's a small purport here. Since Bali Maharaj had been arrested by Lord Vamanadev, please listen to this carefully because this is the context of today's verse. Since Bali Maharaj had been arrested by Lord Vamanadev, he was certainly to be considered an offender. Bali Maharaj seriously felt that he was an offender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Certainly, Prahlad Maharaj would not like this. Therefore, Bali Maharaj was ashamed and he hung his head. Text 15. When the great personality Prahlad Maharaj saw that the Supreme Lord was sitting there, surrounded and worshipped by his intimate associates like Sunanda, he was overwhelmed with tears of jubilation. Approaching the Lord and falling to the ground, he offered obeisances to the Lord with his head. Text 16. Prahalad Maharaj said, and this is what we are going to speak on today's verse about, what Prahalad Maharaj said. Prahalad Maharaj said, my Lord, it is your Lordship who gave this Bali the very great opulence of the post of heavenly king. And now, today, it is you who have taken it all away. I think you have acted with equal beauty in both ways. Because his exalted position as king of heaven was putting him in the darkness of ignorance, you have done him a very merciful favor by taking away all his opulence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. As it is said, Yasyaham anugrahanami harishye tad dhanam sanai. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 88, text number 8. It is by the mercy of the Lord, that one gets all material opulence. It is by the mercy of the Lord that one gets all material opulence. But if such material opulence causes one to become puffed up and forget the process of self-realization, the Lord certainly takes all the opulence away. The Lord bestows mercy upon his devotee by helping him find out his constitutional position. For that purpose, the Lord is always ready to help the devotee in every way. But material opulence is sometimes dangerous because it diverts one's attention to false prestige by giving one the impression that he is the owner and master of everything he surveys, although actually this is not a fact. To protect the devotee from such a misunderstanding, the Lord, showing special mercy, sometimes takes away his material possessions. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishye tad dhanam sanai. Om ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurun militam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Mukham Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatam Maham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Tasyetham bhashamanasya praharado bhagavat priyaha ajagama kurushreshtha rakapati rivotitaha. Shukadeva Goswami said, O best of the Kurus, while Bali Maharaj was describing his fortunate position in this way, the most dear devotee of the Lord, Prahalad Maharaj, appeared there like the moon rising in the night time. So, a very interesting section of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Every section of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is interesting. So every speaker says this every morning. That is because it's a fact. It's not an exaggeration. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is like the ripened fruit of the Vedic literature. Wherever you bite it from, it is sweet. Otherwise, when you buy that $2 from Victoria Market, what happens? That mango, you have to chop off half that mango because it is rotten. Correct or no? Whereas Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is not like that. Wherever you buy it from, there is no need to chop off from anywhere. So, another very interesting section, very sweet section of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. There are 9 processes of bhakti, Navavidha bhakti, starting with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam and ending with Atma-nivedanam. This is the chapter in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. This chapter, chapter 22, is Atma-nivedanam chapter of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Why? Because it is in this chapter that Bali Maharaj surrenders his Atma to Lord Vamanadev, because he doesn't have anything left to surrender. So Lord has taken away everything. Diti had done this Payovrata worship, not Diti, Aditi had done this Payovrata worship, and her goal was to protect her children, the Devatas, because they had lost everything to the Asuras. And who is the head of the Asuras? Bali Maharaj. So Krishna as Vamanadev is personally now intervening, having come as her son. He came as a Brahmana to the Yajna Sthal. Bali Maharaj was doing an Yajna, very proud of his opulence. He was a king, right? Under the advice of another proud guru. Lobhi guru, lalchi chela, dono ka narak mein thelam thela. Right? So therefore, there is one lobhi guru and there is one, of course, Bali Maharaj is not a lalchi chela in real sense. Bali Maharaj is actually an internal pure devotee of the Lord, but this is a pastime. Let's understand that. In this pastime, he is playing 2 roles. Before the intermission, he is playing Gunda. After that, he is playing hero. Like that. Okay. You have seen in Bollywood movies, no? This transition of. So like that, Bali Maharaj at this point in time, he is in a transition state between from a Asura to becoming a devotee. He is in the process of transitioning to become a devotee right now. So, Vamanadev asked for 3 steps of land. Bali Maharaj said, what is 3 steps of land? Ask something big. You have come to a big man. You don't go to Bill Gates and say, Charana chutta hai kya? You don't say that to him, right? You ask something big if you go to a big man, right? So therefore, Lord Vamanadev says, what big, what small? A person who is greedy will never be satisfied even with the 3 worlds. Ye dil mange more, right? So it is always like that when it comes to material opulences, right? So therefore, he is saying that I am happy if you can give me 3 steps of land. And Bali Maharaj said, okay, this is nothing for me, I will give him. With 1 step of land, he covered the Bhur Loka, and with his entire body he covered the sky also. And with the 2nd step he covered the Brahma Loka also. Now there was no place in the material world. Beyond that is only the spiritual world, right? And then what happened? Beyond that there was nothing to give. So Bali Maharaj now said that I have nothing to offer you, but I have made a promise to you. Raghukul Riti Sada Chali Ai Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. Right? I have given you, because these are not like the politicians of today who change their statements the moment they have said it. When did I say it? They'll say. Right? So these are very great exalted kings who will keep up their word. They don't mind being destroyed. For them their reputation is very important. Whatever they say, they will do. And that is what is one's reputation, right? So therefore, he says that I have nothing more to give you, my dear Lord. I am very ashamed of myself. So he is going through a lot of remorse right now for not being able to fulfill the Lord's desire. He is not looking at the Lord and complaining. Sab kuch to le liya, abhi kyun khade ho yahan pe? You know, he is not asking like that. His mood is very, very different. He is feeling that what can I give the Lord more? So what is he going to give his Lord now? Himself. Atma-nivedanam. Now what is the meaning of Atma-nivedanam? Because Atma cannot be given to anyone really, right? You can give your body to someone. Like for example, you have seen even demons sometimes say that, okay Lord, I will cut off my hand, Lord Shiva, and I will offer it to you. Vrikasura was saying once, right? I will chop off my head also. Then Shivji came and said, no, itna mat karo. So you can offer your body to the Lord. But what do you mean by offering the soul to the Lord? The meaning of offering the soul is offering your free will to the Lord. The meaning of Atma-nivedanam is what? Offering ourselves. When you mean offering ourselves, what is that component of ourselves which is always there with us? Our free will. Free will. Yeah, our soul, no. There is nothing like our soul, because I am the soul. Right? So there is no question of my soul. The point where the question of my ends, that is the soul. So you are the soul. It is not your soul. That means you are something separate and this is yours, like this is my t-shirt. Not like that. I am the soul. So I am offering myself, which means I am offering my free will to you. Now you may do with me whatever you want. It is very similar to Srila Prabhupada's prayer in the Jaladuta when he went to the United States. Prabhupada said, my dear Lord, you have brought me here, I don't know why. Now you make me dance the way you want. जो भी रचना आपको करनी है, you do it with me. Okay, I will just dance to your tune. Right? जैसे आप, whichever way you make me, whatever tunes you do, I will dance accordingly, like that. So this is called as Atma-nivedanam. So he is offering this to the Lord. Now Prabhupada writes a very interesting purport based on Prahlad Maharaj's sentence. Prabhupada starts the sloka with, as it is said, yasyaham anugrahanami harishyet taddanam sanaye. Now there are emperor verses of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. There is Paribhasha Sutra of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which are the most important verse of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. But do you know which is the most feared verse of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? सबको डर लगता है उस वर्ष से. This is the verse. What is the verse? Yasyaham anugrahanami harishyet taddanam sanaye. Lord Krishna says this to this verse comes about in the 10th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, somewhere in the later chapters. It is said that Sukadeva Goswami was asked by Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit only had a few days to live, but Sukadeva Goswami was asked by Maharaj Parikshit. He asked a question. Lord Vishnu's wife is Lakshmi, and Lakshmi means what? Money, right? That is his wife. So therefore, Lord Vishnu's devotee should be very wealthy, right? And Lord Shivji, what does he have? Kamandal, Damru, skull. Anyone wants to go there? Will anyone ask, oh Lord, please give me some skulls? Will anyone ask in Shivratri like that? But Lakshmi Puja everyone asks. Right? Sukha Sampati Ghar Aave. Right? So Lord Shiva, he has nothing to give. Right? He himself lives in a crematorium. But whoever worships Lord Shiva, they are very wealthy. Aisa kaisa? This is a dichotomy that he is highlighting. Right? And in response, Lord Krishna, Shukadeva Goswami says that Lord Krishna was himself asked this question by Yudhishthir Maharaj. Right? Same question was asked. And that time, Lord Krishna quoted this verse. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishyet taddanam shanai. When I give a special mercy to any devotee, I take away all his wealth. And when wealth goes away, who goes away? Friends and relatives will go away. Koi puchega nahi. Right? And then, at that time, that person will realize the importance of self-realization. He will come closer to me. Right? Now if we ask, hands up, how many of you want this benediction? All your wealth will go away, but you will get self-realization in return. Nobody? Nobody in this whole room? One person. ये दौलत भी ले लो, ये शोहरत भी ले लो, और छीन लो मुझसे मेरी जवानी, मगर मुझे लौटा दो मेरा सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन. Right? So therefore, this is a very difficult prayer. People cannot pray like this. It's very difficult. When I go, I will shudder, think 10 times. मुश्किल से mortgage का पैसा जमा किया है, सब कुछ ले लोगे तो कहाँ जाऊँगा? Where will I go? Right? So, but this is a very exalted prayer. Very few devotees can actually pray like this. One who has complete faith that the Lord is the maintainer. Not our bank balance is not our maintainer. The source of our employment is not the source of our maintenance. But the Lord is the maintainer. One has to be completely convinced. It's easy to by heart verses and quote it in a class. But it is very difficult to live it. Because to live it, you have to believe in it. Right? So Prabhupada starts his purport from here. And Prabhupada says, it is by the mercy of the Lord that one gets all material opulence. But if such material opulence causes one to become puffed up and forget the process of self-realization, the Lord certainly takes all the opulence away. So, In the Nectar of Devotion, this principle is explained. How karma works different for devotees and how karma works different for those people who are not started their journey of bhakti, who have nothing to do with bhakti, who we call as non-devotees, right? Just for the purpose of English, we will call them non-devotees, right? So, for an ordinary person who is not in Krishna consciousness, in fact for everyone, in fact even for devotees, why do we suffer? What is the root cause of suffering? The root cause of suffering is ignorance, but the immediate cause of suffering, which also in one sense is the root cause of suffering, is sin. Because we all have done what? Sin. Papam. Papam is the root cause of our suffering in one sense. But then if you go deeper and deeper, if you do a real deep root cause analysis, then you will come to ignorance. Now this papam, when one sins, then what happens? When you do a pap, then there has to be a reaction to that. But the Lord has designed this reaction so nicely that He takes this reaction and says, okay, abhi nahi, baad mein milega. Okay, I will give it to you after some time. Right? Right? Now because of which some people also complain. Last lifetime I did some sin. Why in this lifetime I am getting punishment? Because I am a nice bloke in this lifetime. I never harmed anyone. This is what people think, right? Everyone thinks he is a nice bloke, right? Everyone thinks like that, right? Nobody will say I am a rascal, only devotee will say. And then people will say, don't have inferiority complex. No. Be confident about yourself. You are good. You are okay, I am okay, right? But we are not okay because we have done what? Papam. We have sinned in the past. So what Lord does is He keeps the reaction for in the future. Sometimes it could be in the future in the single lifetime, or sometimes it could be in a future lifetime as well. Now why does He do that? That is because of His mercy. Now you will say, what is the mercy in this? Okay. The mercy is between the time that one does this papam to the time that one gets this future reaction, you have time to press the undo button on your reactions. So you can erase this aprarabdham by the process of devotional service, beginning with chanting the holy names of the Lord. So the more and more we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. All that is troublesome to the heart will be vanquished. All sinful reactions will go away. That day I was watering my garden. Okay. I had just plucked some weeds out. But again weeds have grown and the roses are not getting the water. So our Priya Vishaka Mataji, Yogeshwar Govind Prabhu's wife, she was there. She told me, Prabhu, you have picked up only the weed from the top. But weed ko jad se ukhadna chahiye. You have to pull the weed from the root, otherwise it will again sprout. Right? So chanting is a process by which not only our sinful reactions are removed, but the bijam, the seed of sinful action is also removed. Right? So that is for devotees. So for a devotee, what happens? The root of sinful action is also removed. Not only that, the desire to sin also goes away and all auspicious qualities dawn on a devotee. This is the speciality of bhakti. But this is not available in any other process. Right? So therefore, as a devotee progresses in the process of bhakti, as one comes to the path of Guru Ashray and takes shelter of a living spiritual master, on that day what happens? That person is connected to the parampara of devotees. And that day we are connected to Krishna. We cannot get connection to Krishna unless we connect ourselves and commit ourselves to the parampara, the disciplic succession. We cannot. Now you may say, but I have not taken shelter of a spiritual master. तो अभी क्या time pass चल रहा है क्या? मैं भी तो chanting कर रही हूँ अभी. Right? You may think like that. No, that is not true. Okay, the chanting which you do before you get initiated is for the purpose of you being guided to the right spiritual master to get initiation from. It is like the probation period. In the probation period, the office checks, is this fellow serious? Can we make him permanent in our organization? So that is the period. And once one gets initiated, then yes, that's a commitment, because the spiritual master has observed you, observed your seriousness, observed your consistency. Not that one day chanting 4 rounds, coming to 0, again coming to 16 on some special Ekadashi day, again coming to 1 round, again saying, Prabhu, ajkal to bandi ho gaya, chanting. Not like that. Okay. This is called as a sine curve. It will not, you will not go anywhere with that. Right? One has to come to the platform of some consistency, take initiation from a spiritual master, and on that day what happens? You get connected to the parampara. After that day, you are no longer a victim of your karma. Now you may say, yeah, but devotees also suffer, devotees also get diseases, devotees also lose their money, right? Now that is the process which is explained here. What Lord Krishna does, based upon the appetite of the devotee, based upon the appetite. And what is the appetite on, depending on? Appetite is directly depending on the advancement of the devotee. Krishna will give you tests based on how much you can take his tests. So Krishna personally keeps some of the prarabdha karma with himself. Aprarabdha anyway is taken away, right? But Krishna can keep some of the prarabdha karma with himself, and Krishna can keep some of the aprarabdha karma with himself, right? He can keep some vestiges of karma with himself, and he can give you that karma. He can give you that karma to bring you closer to him. Now, I'll give you an example. Prabhupada's example there is a difference between the slap of a policeman and the slap of a mother. What is the difference? In the slap of a policeman, he is doing legally what he should do, right? Of course, in this country, I don't know whether it's allowed. In India, you have seen crime patrol, no? Half the time people are getting thrashed, right? Right? So, therefore, that is a hit of a policeman. But the hit of a mother has got a love component in it. Policeman doesn't love you. Policeman only wants to punish you. And policeman will say, I want to reform you. But that reformation is also from a sense of duty of the policeman. But when a mother does that, a mother does out of personal concern for the child, not caring about reputation. Not caring, oh, whether if I hit this child, if I chastise this child, will this child not look after me in my old age? No, mother will never do that. Right? Or father will never do that. They will do whatever is needful. So Krishna is that supreme father. So Krishna keeps some of the karma with himself, and he can still administer some karma for our past sinful activities, but he does it personally this time. He does it personally, and that is why it is said that being a devotee is still better. Okay? Because now Krishna is dealing very personally with us, and that is what is being highlighted over here. Prahlad Maharaj knows that very well. Prahlad Maharaj is the most exalted devotee, right? Prahlad Maharaj is saying that his statements are underscoring his understanding. I think the child needs some attention. Sorry, what was I saying? I lost my thoughts. Yeah, Prahlad Maharaj's statements are underscoring his own realizations. So Prahlad Maharaj knows that Krishna is not just acting on Bali Maharaj as if Bali Maharaj is an asura, because Bali Maharaj is actually a devotee of the Lord, right? He is a very exalted devotee. Of course, in this Leela, he is playing the role of an asura, right? But Bali Maharaj is a devotee. Otherwise, such a sudden transformation cannot happen on seeing Vishnu, right? It can happen if the Lord wants, but Bali Maharaj is showing all symptoms of remorse. He wants to rectify himself. So he's already, even if you say that he was an asura, at least now he is not. He's already transitioned to being into the consciousness of a devotee. Therefore, Krishna is taking personal charge, and Krishna is what he is doing, he is taking away all the opulence of Bali Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, what is so big in that? You only gave this opulence, you are only taking away this opulence, right? And I know why you are doing that. Because by taking away this opulence, now you are going to make Bali Maharaj very, very close to you. You are taking away wealth, his material wealth, but you are giving him spiritual wealth for eternity. And that is the real treasure of a devotee. Golokera prema dhana. The love of the gopis is the asset of a devotee. Okay. Okay. So that is the gist of today's purport. Now, I am going to read something very interesting. Please hear very carefully. This is the purport to that 10th canto, Yasyaham Anugrahanami verse that Prabhupada is giving. I am going to read that. Mataji, he needs attention. Sorry, it must be very difficult for him. So, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 88, text number 8. That is where this verse from. Yasyaham Anugrahanami. So, please hear carefully. Prabhupada says, he is talking about material happiness and material distress, how it is different for a devotee from a non-devotee. Prabhupada says, however, material happiness and distress arising from karma, material happiness and distress arising from karma, which means who is he talking about? Non-devotees. Hear carefully, because material happiness and distress for a devotee come personally from Krishna. Yes, he is keeping some karma and administering, but it is not coming on autopilot of your karma, right? So, material happiness and distress arising from karma leave a subtle residue. Leave a subtle residue. Now, I can only give this example by giving a Bollywood example, okay, which everyone will remember at least, okay. In this movie called as Lavaris. Sorry for those who are from Australia who don't know this movie. I'm so sorry. But I'll translate in English. In this, the main hero, he has been thrown by his father into a dustbin. I think he was some illegitimate child or something like that. He was thrown and he was found under a dustbin. Now, from a scriptural point of view, if you look at someone who has this kind of a karma that he has to be thrown by his father in a dustbin, definitely that person it is sad. We sympathize with that person. We will empathize with that person. But scriptures are scriptures. It is happening because of one's past bad karma. Now, because later on what happens, this person becomes very anti-society, right? Now, why he says? He says, because I was thrown in the dustbin, therefore I am going to take revenge against all the wealthy people of society. Yeah, you remember the dialogue? Mujhe gandi nali ki kachre mein phek diya tha, something like that it was. Amitabh Bachchan said that dialogue, right? So therefore, because I am suffering my sinful reaction, therefore I will commit sin. Does it make sense? So the reactions can put you in a recursive loop of sinning and reaction, sinning and reaction, sinning and reaction. And that is what Prabhupada means when he says, however, material happiness and distress arising from karma leave a subtle residue. Ek shamata, there is one shamata, there is a proclivity to do more sin. There is a hatred towards society. There is some kind of deep-rooted anger, envy, something. It manifests in some way, some greedy nature of some individual, some angry nature of some individual. This is because of past sins. And Prabhupada says, this residue is the seed of future entanglement. Is the seed of future entanglement. Such enjoyment and suffering tend towards degradation and increase the danger of falling into hellish oblivion. Very powerful, right? Now, the important statement for devotees. Happiness and distress generated from the Supreme Lord's desires. So, who are we talking about now? Devotee. Happiness and distress generated from the Supreme Lord's desires, however, leave no trace after their immediate purpose has been solved. They leave no trace after their, ठीक है, थप्पड़ लगाया, हो गया, खत्म. You got a slap from Krishna, end of matter. That transaction is over. It doesn't leave any residue. Right? for future sin. Right? That is Krishna's punishment. Because when Krishna punishes, he also removes the seeds of sinful action. He removes the seeds of sinful action in such a way that they will not surface again. It's just like I was pulling the weeds from the garden, you remember? Jad se ukhado. Remove it from the very root. Now, see what he is saying. Moreover, the Vaishnava who enjoys such reciprocation with the Lord. What is the word? He didn't say, moreover, the Vaishnava who tolerates such reciprocation from the Lord. He uses the word enjoy. Moreover, the Vaishnava who enjoys such. Can you imagine? Lord has taken away on your wealth and you're saying, maja aa raha hai. All bank balance gone. Hare Krishna. Sounds theoretical, right? Can't relate to it. Can't relate to it. But it is said, moreover, the Vaishnava who enjoys such reciprocation with the Lord is in no danger of falling down into nescience. It's a very tall order. It's a very tall order. Of course, we are expected to come to this platform if we have to go back to Godhead. Because this life, going back to Godhead is not going to be easy. It is not that, we will chant whenever we have the mood. We will come to the temple. Whenever opportunity comes, we all come to the temple. We are very pious family. We are God believing. All of us believe in God. बहुत मानते हैं भगवान को. Whenever mood comes, we will come to the temple. Whenever mood comes, we will chant. Whenever I can, I will try to chant attentively. Right? Whenever I can, I will do service to the Lord. Whenever I can, Prabhuji, I will try my best to be humble, except some devotees. Right? They take advantage of me when I am humble. बहुत हो गया. I will show them back now who I am also. मैं भी दिखाता हूँ. Why should I take it lying down? Like that. So therefore, we are not allowing Krishna to interfere. I am saying that I am only God. I will only give sinful reactions to everyone, myself. So we are trying to play God here. Right? So therefore, Prabhupada is saying that one who enjoys this, but it is difficult. It is difficult for us to practice. Now, I was saying that going to Godhead is not going to be easy. The path to Godhead is not smooth. Not that, okay, Prabhu, I will do one thing. I will not offend any devotees. I will just be at home. Whenever I will come to the service. I will not talk to anyone. किसी के झंझट में नहीं पड़ूंगी. मंदिर में, courtyard में I will not talk about other devotees. Okay, I will just do my service. I will put my head down. I will go home after my service. Is that enough? And then if you do that, then what will happen? And then I will do my job very nicely. I'll, of course, I have some desires. I have, obviously, everyone wants to have a first house, second house, and third house. And first car, second car, third car. Everyone wants to change their car, right? Right? So I'll do all that, but I'll be very good. I'll be very good. After all, I'm chanting 16 rounds. Prabhu, I didn't touch onion garlic since last 16 years. I haven't taken alcohol also. I don't eat meat. Therefore, Prabhu, I'll do that. And then outside your address, whatever address you have, so and so street. One day what will happen? Life will go very nicely. Husband and wife will live nicely. Children will be very cooperative with all of you, because after all you are a devotee. So our children will all obey whatever we say. They will say Mate. Boy will say Pitashri. क्या सेवा करूं आपका? क्या मैं आपके चरण स्पर्श कर सकता हूं? क्या पैर दबा सकता हूं आपका? We are in illusion. Whether we are devotees or not devotees, कलयुग का रुख नहीं बदलने वाला है. The direction of Kali-yuga will not change for us, right? Whether I have a parachute or not a parachute, gravity will still act on me. Only I have the parachute of devotional service. So little bit it will be under control, that's all. I will be insulated against that gravity, that's all. But Kali-yuga is equal to all, because Krishna is impartial in that sense. In terms of how he has designed Kali-yuga to make everyone miserable, Krishna is impartial even to his devotees. But the devotees have the Suraksha Chakra. The Doordarshan ad, you remember? Colgate Total, Suraksha Chakra, right? It will prevent you from bad breath throughout the day. Ting, tong, ting. Like that, when we chant 16 rounds in the morning, right, attentively and go out after that, then what happens? We have a Suraksha Chakra against the attacks or onslaughts of Maya. That day, what will happen if you don't chant properly and go to work? Somebody will say, like one day someone told me, I was actually very happy with my Nokia phone, that pip, pip, pip. And then one day, I remember I went to office, and then one fellow said, Jagan, which age are you living in? And then he showed me, smartphone. I was actually not using for a long time. But then I said, no, Maya. Like that, no. Because I was very happy that day, because I was hearing nice lectures. But few days after that, what happened? Sadhana went down. The first thing that happened was what? Mera bhi apple hoga. Right? So that is exactly. So this material desires come surreptitiously. Surreptitiously means sumdi mein aata hai, heart ke andar. You never know kahan se aata hai aur kahan le chal jata hai. You never know where it comes from and where it takes you. And you, by the time you realize, you are full of material desires. Right? And then what happened? A devotee does a course correction, like a pilot does a course correction. If you've seen that flight radar, tick, 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 it goes like that, and again the pilot is now changing the angle so that it goes to the destination. So in this whole life, we have to keep changing our angles all the time. Okay? Nobody really, hardly any devotee goes straight through like that. It is not, we will go up, we will have our bad days, we will not even have bad days, we will have bad months, and we may have even bad years. Right? And then we will again come up, again we go down. But the graph has to constantly go up. Though it may be up and down, the graph has to be up. If you draw a line through this, then it has to be going up. Okay? Then we know we are on the right track, because this is the natural path of a devotee. So it is not going to be easy going back to Godhead. It is not that life will be nice, we will all live very happily ever after in our very big house, right? Mortgage will be over, grandchildren will also come, they will play in our angana mein gulli khelenge, all that will happen. And then what will happen? One day phone will come. Hello? Hello, Krishna. Yeah, I'm waiting outside. Aja. What? This is Pushpa Viman, Vaikunta Airlines. Do you have any meal preferences? Do you want in-flight entertainment? It is not going to be like that. And then that fellow, and then the couple sat in the Pushpa Viman, and then thus they went happily ever after. Yug mein. Oh, that Hindi movie last mein hota na, the heroine are going into the horizon, and they lived happily ever after. It is not going to happen like that in bhakti. Why? Because to go back to Godhead, all our material attachments have to go one by one. It has to go one by one. And to go back to Godhead, the qualification is Krishna Ekeka Sharanam. We have to come to that platform such that I depend on Krishna only. I depend on Krishna only, and I do not have any dependence. सब कुछ निकाल देगा. कैसे करेंगे? धीरे धीरे. How he will do? Slowly, step by step, it will happen in our life. And when that happens, can you enjoy it? It's very painful. Very painful. But the path of going back to Godhead is going to be painful, despite the process of devotional life being very joyful. Right? Raja Vidya Raja Gohyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. The process of bhakti is very joyfully performed, but the journey of going back to Godhead is not going to be, it's full of thorns. And who has placed those thorns? Krishna himself will place those thorns. Why? So that we get rid of all other desires and we are left with only one desire, an intense greed or lobha to attain him by completely being frustrated with this material world. Right now, do you have hope in the material world? Abhi bhi hope. I have hope. Next year we are going to repaint our house, Prabhuji. Some renovation we are doing, Prabhu. I have already imagined. I will be sitting, my wife will be in that room, and I will have intercom in the house. Hare O Bhagavanti. And she will pick up from the top. Hello, I am in the top room. I am thinking I will put lift also in my house. Okay. Something we will, Maya will give some hopes to us, saying that if you do that, you will be happier tomorrow than we are today. But that tomorrow is never going to come. Why? Because you made a mistake. What is the biggest mistake that we have made in our life? The biggest mistake is we chanted Hare Krishna. That is why Rupa Goswami says, do not go to that Yamuna Nadi. If you go there, don't see that black man with the flute. Don't surrender to him. Because once he sees you and he sees a slight intention from your side that you want to go back to him, घसीट के लेके जाएंगे तुमको. घसीट के means he will pull you by your hair and then he will take you. Okay, and that process is not enjoyable. And Prabhupada says, a Vaishnava who enjoys such reciprocation is no longer falling into the vicious. Right? Of course, this happened. There is an interesting pastime in the scripture. This pastime, and this moved me actually. This pastime actually, this is one of the pastimes that will make you cry. This pastime is in 11th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. There are different types of Gitas. Like Bhagavad Gita is one type of Gita. But there is something called a Uddhava Gita also. That surfaces in the 11th canto. It's a big conversation between Lord Krishna and Uddhava. Now, in that 11th canto, there is a chapter called as the Song of the Avanti Brahmana. Have you heard of that? How many of you have heard of Song of Avanti Brahman? Yeah. It's a very moving chapter. If you want, you can read it today. Go home and read it today. It's very moving. It will melt your heart. This Avanti Brahman was a kanjus number one. He was a miser. You know what's a miser? A very frugal person. So, he will not spend any money. He will neither spend money on himself nor give it to his family. So, his family was frustrated with him. His children also were not only were his wife frustrated, but children frustrated and grandchildren also frustrated. Because though he became very old, he will not give one naya paisa to his grandchildren. Not one shilling he will give to his grandchildren. Right? So what happened? And he was hated by his family. And then one day what happened? By the intervention of the Lord, because the Lord wanted to give him special mercy. So what happened? By the intervention of the Lord, all his wealth was gone. The relatives took something away. The bank took something away. There was no bank. I don't think there was a bank, but yeah. Somewhere he lost all his money. Right? Here and there he lost all his money. Right? So he was left with nothing. So he came on the road. And when he was left with nothing, what happens? His relatives, everyone rejected that person. So bilkul akela life mein. Nobody, no love from anywhere, right? In such a state of mind, he started wandering. But one good thing he did. He said, now I have nothing to lose anyway, so let me surrender to Krishna. Majburi ka naam? Mahatma Gandhi. Right? We say in Hindi. So now anyway I don't have anything, so let me surrender to Krishna. So Atma-nivedanam. But jeb se kangal. It was not that he gave donation to the Lord. And like Bali Maharaj. Of course, Bali Maharaj also didn't give a donation in one sense. Krishna took it. But yeah, at least there was some component of charity here, no? Bali Maharaj had a choice to say no, and maybe Krishna wouldn't have also interfered then, right? But there, everything is anyway gone. So he only had himself to give. He didn't even have that, do the charity to Krishna. But at that time, he did Atma-nivedanam. He took sannyas. But it was not easy. Just because he took sannyas, Krishna didn't say, okay, abhi sannyasi ho gaya, okay, come, Pushpa Viman standing for you, seat number 36A on the flight. No, he didn't give him boarding pass. After taking that sannyas, usually sannyasis get what? Lot of respect. Correct or no? But when he got sannyas, he was spat upon by people. People used to spit on him. People used to urinate in his food. People used to tie him up. People used to beat him and run away. People used to take away even little bit prasadam he had by begging. People used to steal that prasadam and take away and then show it the prasadam to him because he was hungry sometimes. When he used to go to the prasadam, they will again take it away from him. So people were doing sadistic behavior with this Avanti Brahman. But this Avanti Brahman, his approach was correct. His approach was that what? Oh Lord, why am I deserving all these things? No, he didn't complain. He realized that whatever I am getting today in this situation is because of my sinful life. The only choice I really have in this misery is I surrender to the Lord and accept His design in my life, or I rebel. What did he choose? He made the right choice. He accepted the design of the Lord and continued and eventually went back to Godhead. So this is an extreme example that we are talking about. So this is the nature of material life. So going back to Godhead is not going to be an easy process. There are three aspects which we need to understand in today's theme. First is the vision of a devotee when it comes to miseries in life. So here Prahlad Maharaj is demonstrating the vision of a devotee by saying, Lord, it's you who gave and it is you who is taking it away. When I came into this material world, I never had anything. I never brought anything to this world. So what is there that I have brought that I need to cry over? So this is the vision of a devotee. Not only that, but the vision of a devotee is to see the hand of Krishna in every aspect of his life, in happiness as well as in distress, right? Every act is for eternal benefit. What is that eternal benefit? To bring someone to the point of self-realization. So, there is a very interesting example of Narad Muni. Narad Muni in a previous life was a small child of a Dasi, right? And during the Chaturmasyas, he used to serve the sages. So there were saintly persons who were in his house. So he used to serve them under the instructions of his mother, and then he used to take their remnants. But just because, and Narad Muni, when he took the remnants, as he took the remnants of a Vaishnava are purifying anyway, right? Uchishta of a Vaishnava is purifying, right? There was one lusty devotee of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, right? And who was eyeing, a lady, somebody else's wife. And what that lady did, and it's a long story short, the lady only gave him remnants of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And what happened? Just by taking the remnants of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, his lusty desire for that woman went away and he started seeing that woman as a mother. So this is the power of Uchishta. So when you take the remnants of a pure devotee, what happened to Narad Muni? His consciousness also got purified. Now he has already become a devotee. But as soon as he became a devotee, what happened? His mother died of a snake bite. So it's not that because he became a devotee and after that his mother's health became better. No, his mother died of a snake bite. So Prabhupada writes in his purport, how did Narad Muni take it? I took it as the special mercy of the Lord and moved north. I took it as an opportunity for increasing my intensity of self-realization. I took this as an opportunity. And Prabhupada writes, confidential devotees of the Lord see in every step a benedictory direction of the Lord. What is considered to be an odd or difficult moment in the mundane sense is accepted as special mercy of the Lord. Mundane prosperity. Now this is a very beautiful statement by Prabhupada. Please hear carefully. Mundane prosperity is a kind of material fever. Mundane prosperity is what? Material fever. And by the grace of the Lord, the temperature of this material fever is gradually diminished. And spiritual health is obtained step by step. He will give slap on one hand and he will reward you with more Krishna Prem. Another big slap, again another more Krishna Prem. That's exactly what we are chanting for, correct? Mundane people misunderstand it. Right? So it requires spiritual vision to see events. So the first summary of today's class is what? The vision of a devotee. The take home point is how a devotee sees it. Number two, Krishna's mercy can come in any form. It comes on its own terms. We cannot dictate it. He is supreme and most eager to have us back. For example, Parikshit Maharaj, how did he go back to Godhead? Was the journey very easy? Krishna protected him in the womb of his mother, but Krishna did not protect him from the curse of Shringi. Right? He did not protect him. Right? He protected his devotional service, but he did not protect his material body. So, this is another example. His mood was what? Let the takshak come and bite me, but let me have an opportunity to hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam till the last breath of my life. That was his mood. Same mood, Kunti Maharani went one step further. Kunti Maharani's prayers were what? Vipada Shantu Tah Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Apunar Darshanam Yat Syad. What is that verse? Yeah. Bhavatto Darshanam Yat Syad Apunar Bhava Darshanam. This prayer nobody can pray. She says, my dear Lord, let those calamities come again and again. Because when calamities come in my life, that is the time that I am coming closer to you. When life is going smooth, when mortgage is being paid, when job is being steady, when promotions are happening one after the other, what happens? Only what goes up? Pride, anger, greed, envy and lust. This pagalpan goes up. Nothing else happens. So therefore let those calamities come to me. Because only when calamities come to me, I realize the futility of material pursuits. And my intensity to attain you goes on increasing. Chitraketu, another example of response. How Krishna's mercy came to him? Chitraketu was cursed by Mother Parvati. But when Mother Parvati cursed, Chitraketu did not say, Hare yaar, you please understand, no, what was my intention? I didn't mean like this. This was not the conversation. Right? Chitraketu had laughed at, along with Lord Shiva, not at Lord Shiva. He was laughing, thinking that how glorious Lord Shivaji is, that he can keep the most beautiful lady on his lap and not get sensually agitated by her and give a class on Brahmacharya to the yogis. He was finding it very amusing in one sense, but he was internally glorifying Lord Shiva. Kya devotee hai Lord Shiva, what a kind of personality. But because he was smiling, Parvati thought, mere husband ko tumne kya bola? Sometimes it happens, no? Right? So therefore what happened? Parvati cursed him, that you will become a demon in your next life. Who he came as? Rakasur. So he came in front of Parvati and said, Mate, I accept. He never even asked her, can you please pardon me? Kuch nahi. He just said, I will accept. And Parvati was also amazed. She is having a conversation with Lord Shiva. Ye kya hai bhai? I gave him such a punishment. He never told me anything. I thought he'll get at least upset, angry, cry, do some drama here. And then Lord Shiva gives the famous verse. What is the verse? Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bhibyati swarga apavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshanam. A pure devotee of the Lord is always happy in any condition of life. He does not care. Narayana parasarve, a devotee of the Lord, he does not care any situation of life. Swarga, whether you give him heaven, whether you give him apavarga, or whether you give him liberation. Liberation means apavarga. Swarga, apavarga or narakeshu. You give him narak, hellish planets. All the devotee is looking for is opportunity to serve the Lord. That is the life of a devotee. So, but to all these devotees, Krishna gave mercy in different forms. To Sudama, how he gave mercy? Exactly opposite. Because Sudama was proud of his poverty. Right? In Hindi movies also I have seen this. The hero is proud of his poverty. हम गरीब हैं, गरीब मजदूर हैं हम. उसमें proud होने का क्या है? गरीब मजदूर है. You are suffering a sinful reaction, bhai. Are you happy with this? Right? So therefore some people become proud of their poverty. So what Krishna gave? He gave him a lot of wealth. Right? He gave him a lot of wealth so that he can remove that aspect and make him even more, there is no reason now that even the poverty aspect is gone. Right? So Krishna's mercy can come in any form. Number 2. The last point, when opulence is dangerous and the consciousness dips, then Krishna can take away everything. What is the biggest praman of this? The praman of this is the Govardhan pastime. Krishna can take away the pride of somebody. Pride was Indra's opulence, right? Pride, because I am the king of the heavenly planets, everybody is under me, you better obey me, all of you, and worship me. That was his mood. So when they wanted, then when the gopis had arranged, the Vrajavasis had arranged for the worship of Indra, Krishna gave the karma mimamsa philosophy to Nanda Maharaj. And he said, why are you worshipping Indra? After all, everything comes, the rainfall comes because of one's karma, right? And rainfall causes so much of destruction anyway. So how do you think that Indra, who you are trying to please, will give you rainfall which will destroy you? So he is giving some points here and there to confuse Nanda Maharaj. And they are innocent people. Just because of their attachment to Krishna, they then worship Govardhan. And then Indra gets so angry that he gives the Samvartaka clouds. But the gopis also, how do they respond? They didn't say, oh Krishna, we shouldn't have listened to you, this young boy. Now see, kitni barish ho rahi hai. What would happen to my mortgage? Will the insurance company give me, what is that? Rain, natural disaster insurance, right? His mind didn't go, their mind didn't go there. They were very happy under the Govardhan hill with Krishna. In fact, Krishna built them a city under the Govardhan hill itself, right? And they were just happy gazing at him. Every person in his or her own rasa were deriving happiness just by gazing at the beautiful form of the Lord standing in his bended form with one hand, now with the flute in one hand and pinky finger lifting the Govardhan hill. So when one gets proud of one's opulence, Prahlad Maharaj says that Krishna can take it away. So the vision of a devotee, and how do we see this? How do we, how in what forms Krishna can give his mercy, and the fact that when opulence is dangerous, Krishna can take away. These are some of the key points that we can take away from this section. I'll stop here and ask if there are any questions or comments. Take that mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. My question is in two parts. Is Atma-nivedanam and Sharanagati the same thing?
Is Atma-nivedanam
and Sharanagati
is Atma-nivedanam and Sharanagati one and the same? Yes and no. Because Sharanagati, what's a Venn diagram? Okay. Or universal set and subset. So Atma-nivedanam is one of the components of Sharanagati. Sharanagati has got many components. Sharanagati is defined in the scriptures as Anukulyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Varjanam, Rakshishyati Vishwaso, Goptritve Varanam Tatha, Karpanya and Atma-nivedanam. These are 6 components. The first component of surrender is Anukulyasya Sankalpa, doing everything that is conducive to devotional service. Second aspect of Sharanagati is what? Refraining from doing those things which are not favorable to devotional service, right? And the nectar of instruction gives you what are those, right? The third aspect is considering the Lord as your only protector. Next is considering the Lord only as your only maintainer. And then the fifth aspect is developing karpanya or humility. And then the last aspect is in this mood, Atma-nivedanam. So Atma-nivedanam is in one sense one of the components of Sharanagati. It's one of the end components of Sharanagati. Agar Sharanagati mein there are different padavs, different steps. This is the end step of Sharanagati. Yeah. Does that help? Yeah.
Thank you. And does it mean that Atma-nivedanam manifests across all the 9 stages of devotion but in different levels?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Atma-nivedanam manifests across all the 9 stages. Yes. All the 9 stages, they are not mutually exclusive. They are very integrated. For example, Shravanam and Japa, are they not integrated? If you don't hear lectures every day, will you have enthusiasm to chant? What will be the mood in which we will chant, right? Mechanical mood, right? But when we have heard a very powerful lecture, let's say, on that day at least chanting is good, right? So Shravanam and Kirtanam, they are very integrated, and in the same way, Atma-nivedanam and other components are also equally integrated. Okay. Okay, ladies first.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the nice class.
Hare
So maybe you've covered this, so sorry, but I just was wondering because in the 26 qualities of the devotee, like you had mentioned, that the surrender is surrender to Krishna, like Krishna ek sharanam. So it is, I've heard that if you just have that qualities, then that's the most important. But even humility is a part of that. So I'm just wondering, and even right now you answered Prabhu's question, Sharanagati, there's humility and then surrender. But it's really hard to see how humility comes before surrender. Like, I always wondered why is humility not, because, even there's in Shikshastakam, there is Trinadapi Sunichena, which is like, you become humble, and then once you become humble, tolerance follows. But I'm not able to understand how humility comes before surrender. Like, because surrender is helplessness, like, you surrender when you feel totally helpless. But how does the humility, like...
Humility comes before surrender because when we think of surrender as an activity. The Atma-nivedanam is a state of mind. It is not an activity. It's a state of mind wherein your only desire is to align yourself with the will of the Lord. It is a state of mind. So unless one is humble, how can one have that state of mind? What is one aspect of humility? One aspect of humility is that I am not the controller. Right? That is one aspect of humility. So when we realize that I am not the controller, and how do we understand I am not the controller? That's why those components are coming. By understanding that the Lord is the protector and the Lord is the maintainer. And when you realize that, then you become humble. Right? When we don't think that I am the controller, I can make my fate. Like some people say, I am a self-made man. Right? I can govern my own fate. Only when that mood comes, only then you can then align your intentions with the intention of the Lord.
So I think that's what the question is. So then why in the 26 qualities of the devotees is the surrender considered more important than the humility?
Surrender is considered more important than humility. That is because of the first two components of surrender. Because the first two components of surrender are largely part of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Anukulyasa sankalpa and pratikulyasa varjanam. Those are part of practice sadhana bhakti.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Okay, any one of you. Okay, Sivya, you go first. Okay, then I will come this way. Daivata Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare
Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned about our karma, our past karma, and our free will. So,
Can you close that door, Prabhuji? Raghunath Vijay Prabhu. Sorry, I can't hear otherwise.
you mentioned...
Okay, 1 minute. Some people had started discussing. That's why. Wait. I can't hear a question. The class is not yet over. Question and answer is going on. Just give us 5 minutes. Yeah.
You had mentioned how about our past karma and our free will in this life. So I wanted to ask, how much of our life is predetermined by our past karma versus the free will operating in our life?
How much of our life is determined by past karma and how much is our free will? So, our birth itself is a result of our past karma. Along with the past karma, Prabhupada says, you remember that, I think there is a purport where Prabhupada talks about after death what happens. The subtle body along with the Paramatma carries the soul, just like flower carries aroma or something. You remember that purport of Prabhupada? So, our subtle body carries us to our next body. And where is our karma stored? The subtle body subtle body is also a result of our karma. So in one sense, right from the time we are born, we are undergoing our karma, right? So karma will start coming. But when karma comes, do you further sin because you are undergoing that karma, or no problem, let the karma come, but I will always follow the path of Krishna consciousness? That is your free will. Does it answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Regarding Atma-nivedanam, so Atma is regarded as, contextually it is considered as body, mind and sometimes as soul. So Atma-nivedanam has this all contexts.
Yes.
Like offering our body, offering our mind, and
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, that is why in our Sampradaya, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya, Mahaprabhu introduced what is called as a Tridandi Sannyasi. Tridandi means surrendering with body, mind and words. So, a surrender of all these three components constitutes Atma-nivedanam. Sri Sampradaya also we have, yeah. Nice. You are from where? Tengale or Vadagale? You have not taken initiation so far? In April? Okay. Chinnajiyar Swami. Hare Krishna. Very nice to have you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, just observation, Prabhu. I just want to confirm if my understanding is right. As you were describing this pastime, one thing that was coming in my mind is the lines that I've read as a child, which is, reputation is like a shadow, character is the real thing. Does that apply for Bali Maharaj? Because he had a reputation as a Danava, but his character is very different because he followed Sadhu, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Is that the right way to see it, Prabhu?
Yes, that is the right way to see.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes.
That's all, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I want to understand about the karma. So, if there's a devotee or a friend who's undergoing some, some bad happenings in their life, and we understand that it's because of could be a karma. So, if you have to pray for him, her, what should be praying? Like understanding that the wrong is happening because of the karma, and you still want to pray for, what should be the prayers be?
If you want to pray for your friend who is suffering bad karma, pray to the Lord that he comes in contact with or he keeps his association with a devotee like you, so that then you can affect something. So pray to the Lord that as Paramatma, please inspire him in a direction such that he understands the importance of spirituality in his life. For example, when you give prasadam to him, you are actually praying in one sense. Give him prasadam, okay. Try to give him Bhagavad Gita. Try to bring that person to the temple. Keep that person into the association of devotees. Because it's not just that you leave it to Krishna, saying that, oh Krishna, please make him a devotee. You have to put the effort also. Karmane vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So if I have a desire for someone to become a devotee, okay, out of compassion, if I want to, do my small bit to end the suffering of a devotee, be as an instrument of the Lord. We cannot definitely end anybody's sufferings, but we can be instruments. So if you want to be, then there is some work that is involved. We cannot only put the onus on the Lord, saying that, okay Lord, now you make him a devotee and end his suffering. Not like that. So then you will have to bring him to, you have to cultivate that person. Now if that person is very close to you, like Ghar ki murgi dal barabar, then you don't cultivate. Then ask someone else to cultivate that person.
Prabhuji, if this person suffering is a devotee itself, let's say you have to pray for someone, a devotee who has just left the body, and about the family, they are all the devotees as well. So what should be the prayers be?
This person is a devotee who has left the body.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But I thought that you said that this person is into bad karma, something like that. I didn't understand.
No, that's why should we think about that it is the bad karma which led the person to suffer and leave the body?
Death will come, whether a bad karma or good karma, death is going to come. Death is not
untimely,
dependent on, death is not dependent on bad and good karma.
If it is
death is the reality
untimely,
of
is it
death. Death
because
is the
of
design
karma?
of Kali Yuga. Sorry?
If it is untimely, is it because of karma?
If it is what?
Untimely.
Untimely death, akala mrityu could be a result. Yeah, everything is a result of karma. The time of death is also a result of karma. But as I said, for a devotee who has connected himself to the parampara, so I don't know whether this devotee you are talking about has connected himself or herself to the parampara. The moment you connect to the parampara, from that day Krishna takes charge. So then the way in this person is leaving the body is the design of the Lord. If the person is not connecting to the parampara at all, in fact, I would say, based on my understanding, okay, that even if the person could not take shelter of a spiritual master, but was aspiring genuinely from within the heart to have a spiritual master, Krishna will say that because Krishna is bhavagrahi, he is not process-oriented person. Krishna will still see that bhava of the devotee and personally, take care of the devotee. So you don't have to be worried. If the person is chanting Hare Krishna without envy for the Lord and without envy for the devotees, then that person definitely, has taken the next step closer to Krishna. So there is no question of inauspiciousness here.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You said
You
that...
can take the chair, Pardeep Prabhu. Piche chair hai.
You sit on
There's
the
a chair behind.
Prabhu, you said that, we need to convince ourselves that my salary is not maintaining me. It's Krishna, yeah? How do we practically do that? Because when time's bad, we forget that. We start thinking, Krishna doesn't come straight away in the mind. How can I survive just now? And that fact that Krishna is maintaining me goes out of the picture. How do we make sure that practically we do that?
Talk to Atul Krishna Prabhu, he will tell you. You know that, his story. So he surrendered to the Lord, but then somewhere some inheritance came from somewhere, he said. Somebody left inheritance. He never realized it. And then enough for life. So yeah, Krishna can act in multiple ways. Yeah. So our source of our income is not the source of our maintenance. How to understand it is because we have to understand that even if we do well on our job, sometimes we are laid off. Correct? So you cannot put a direct correlation coefficient between my excellence of performance on my job to my job security. You can't even put that. Then there is something else, that means which is beyond our control, which is either giving a, sometimes you do, like we talk like a puppet in an interview and then we still get it. Right? So it happens all the time. So we realize over a period of time that it's not my results it's not my endeavor always that is giving me results. There are forces beyond me also. For example, you could do very well in an interview and the interviewer may not like your face. Correct or no? Yeah. So or for example, if you are applying for an IAS exam, if they give you an opinion, what's your opinion? Are you more inclined towards, are you sympathizing towards Russia or Ukraine? And if you have a beautiful analysis and the best white paper that you are a wizard in logic and you convince that people that why, one country is right over the other and the fellow in the interview panel happens to sympathize with the other country, then you are finished. Right? So therefore you never know, you think that my scholarliness has given me, or the way I conducted myself in the interview gave me, but then you can fail also. Right? So there are things, that's why it is said that ultimately it is our karma. For a non-devotee it is karma which gives the results of activities, but for a devotee, if it is good for us, Krishna will give us. If it's not good for us. In the same thing, we have to understand that our source of income is not the source of our maintenance, because our income is coming from Krishna. Our job security is also coming from intervention of the Lord if it's a devotee, and because of our karmas if it's a non-devotee.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We'll stop here, otherwise, I'll be de-rostered next time for going about. Okay. We'll have any other questions we'll take offline. Okay. Granth-raj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Do you mind if I stand up?
That's okay.
My legs are hurt.
That's okay.
1 minute, I'll just come this side with your permission.